is Amy Morrison. I'm an associate professor of English and I specialize in new media studies and digital humanities. I started at the University of Waterloo in 2004, right after I finished my PhD, and since I teach new media there's been an awful lot of change in the stuff I teach over that time. So every year is kind of a new challenge course design wise. There's been 3 or 4 versions of Photoshop since I started, and the way we create web pages has changed significantly. Facebook was not really a factor in the world when I started, and now it's the thing that I research. My current work addresses representations of everyday people in social media. So my project is called Deciphering Digital Life Writing, and it's funded by the Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council of Canada. And the approach that I take is that our acts of self-expression in online media, whether we're creating online dating profiles or writing on our Facebook walls or creating a Twitter stream in the persona of our cat, that what we're doing is meaningful acts of autobiography, so that we can consider all of these digital traces we leave of our personalities as kinds of acts of autobiography, so that instead of the common public discourse where we say like, oh, you're sharing too much, or oh, she's so dumb she doesn't even know about the privacy settings and why are you even telling me this? I'm instead taking the perspective that the user has a reason, and that the user is not some oversharing bimbo, but rather a kind of author who is creating deliberate presentations of his or herself online to achieve particular social ends. So I'm a little more interested in understanding how people make decisions about what to say and how to say it, which pictures to include, what privacy settings to employ. I think the trend ever since the development of human beings has been to more and more communication. If you think of human beings organizing themselves very early into social groups, right, into family groups, into clans, into cities, into towns, right? Now social networking. I mean, Facebook is a town of 900 million people now, right? The trend has always been towards more connection with more people. So I don't see us taking a retreat from that. So I think definitely that kind of interaction is here to stay. The researcher Clay Shirky says, soon we will be at a point where there will not be anyone who hasn't always had a social media, right? So we have a sort of just in time, all the information always available to us. We are in perpetual contact with one another, either through text messaging or through web-based social media like Facebook or Twitter. We can check out restaurant reviews on the bus on the way to wherever it is we're going. We don't need to buy paper maps anymore, that we're always connected and always able to access huge amounts of socially generated data. So I think that's a really big factor. Some of the downsides of being constantly connected is I think we are forgetting how to be alone and peaceful. Some of us are forgetting how to speak face-to-face with other human beings. Sites like Facebook we consider them to be our public space. It's where we do an enormous amount of our interactions with other people, but it's a company, right? It's a corporate entity, and Facebook changes its rules every day. Facebook updates its systems every day, a little bit tweak here, a little bit tweak there, and suddenly all your photos are being automatically tagged, right? Which is not something that you've necessarily signed up for, but something that seems to be happening to material you thought belonged to you. So there's a lot of benefit to be gained by putting so much of ourselves out there for others to share and discover, and we get to know each other better. But all of that information is controlled by private or public companies. We click on the 38-page terms of service and we say yes, but we actually don't have very much control over that data at the end of it. So the uses to which that data will be put may not be the purposes with which we began our interaction with the site. I'm working on a book right now, and it's at a very exploratory stage. So I've done some early research on personal mommy blogging, which I've had published in several places. And now I'm looking at works like Dear Photograph, the website where people overlay an old photo on a new photo, and it has this kind of nostalgic pull to it. I'm looking also at other photo sites like Project 365 or Noah K Every Day, which is a professional photographer who took a photo of his own face every day for 5 years and made a YouTube video of it. So now I'm exploring what it means to tell a life story on purpose or by accident using photographs and publishing them online. So that's something I'm working on right now. I'm also interested in looking at how men interact in online spaces. My work on personal mommy blogging is kind of steeped in feminist theory and practices of maternity and sort of sociological research into what it means to be a woman in the contemporary age. So I know a lot about how some kinds of women interact with each other online, and I don't know very much about how men use social media. So I'm thinking of looking at the weight loss forums on Men's Health magazine, right, which is kind of like a support network for men, but I'm pretty sure they don't say the same kinds of things that women say to each other in parenting forums.